order of operations, part 2 of 2. So here's where we left off yesterday. So we'll go ahead and turn the page. Now, these first few problems you should be able to do on your own, okay? Because it's just practicing that order of operations, but the only thing different is that you're substituting in the number, which you know how to do because we've been doing that quite a bit. Okay, so go ahead and let's see here. On this whole first page, there's 3 of them. Let me see if I can get them to all show up on one screen. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to write in the answers first so that you can hit pause while you work through them and have your answers on the screen. Okay, so this first one is going to be 26. The next one, your answer should be 2. And finally, your answer to number 3 should be -4/3. Let me write that a little bit nicer. Okay, so go ahead and hit pause here and hit play when you are ready to see me work through it. Okay, so everywhere we see an x, we put in a -2. So I have 5 times the quantity -2 squared minus a 3 times, -2. There we go. So first I'm going to do the exponents. So we have 5 times 4 is the only thing that I did. And now we have some multiplication to do. So 5 times 4, I get 20. And then a -3 times -2 is a +6. Giving us the final answer of 26. Next, everywhere I see a D, I'm going to put in a 3. So I have 1/3, and then fill in that 3 squared minus 3 plus 2. So I have 1/3. With the 3 squared, since I'm multiplying it by this fraction, I'm going to go ahead and put it over 1 just so it's a little bit easier for me to reduce. So I have 9/1. Then that -3 plus 2. And to reduce that 9/3, that's really a 3/1, right? Because 9/3 is the same as 3/1. And so I would get 3/1 once I multiplied it out, which would just be a 3. So here I have a 3, and then bring down the rest of this over here, this -3 plus 2. 3 minus 3 is 0 plus 2, and I know 0 plus 2 would just give me 2. And for number 3, this one we have 2 different things to fill in. Okay, we have an m equals -1 and an n equals 2. So I'll go ahead and put 5. The n we said was 2 minus 2 times the m we said was -1 over 3 times that m of -1 minus 3 times that n of 2. Okay, so no parentheses or exponents because these parentheses mean multiplication, remember? So let's go and do over multiplication now. So 5 times 2, I get 10. A -2 times -1, I get a +2. 3 times -1, I get a -3. And then a -3 times 2, I get a -6. Let's go and add across the top and across the bottom. 10 and 2, I get 12. Over -3 minus 6 would be a -9. And then we can reduce that because 12 over 9 is really 4 over 3. And a lot of times I see people write it like this. They like to show me like divided by 3, top and bottom. So 12 divided by 3 is 4 over that -3. So a -4/3. Okay, and the next page should also be able to do. It's just more of the same. Let me see. That one I cannot fit them all. So let's just do 4 and 5 to start with, okay? So let me put the answer so you can pause it. 4 should be a -36, and 5 should be a 28. Okay, so hit pause there and give it a try, and then I'll work through it too. Okay, so I filled in the -3. And what I'm seeing first, I'd like to take care of, because there's a lot going on here, are probably these parentheses here at the end. This 5 minus a -3 is really a 5 plus 3, right? Oh, and there's these parentheses here. Wow, there's a lot going on. Let me change colors. So we have these parentheses, and then we have these parentheses. Okay, so let's deal with all of that if we can. Within that first set of parentheses, are you okay if we do the multiplication right now? Let's go ahead and give it a try. So we'd have a -6. So there's a -6 minus 6. There's that first set. Bring down the minus, bring down the 3. Here's our next set of parentheses. Remember, minus and minus I can change to one giant plus, right? So here it goes. Minus, minus, one giant plus. 5 plus 3, I get 8. All right, hopefully that wasn't too much at once. In these first set of parentheses, -6 minus 6 is a -12. And then we have minus a 3 times 8. I dropped the parentheses in that first -12 just so it was easier to see, because there was nothing left to do within those parentheses since we got that -12. Now next would be multiplication. So I have -12. -3 times 8 is a -24. And a -12 minus 24, I get -36. For the next one, 4. Looks like my x is 3, my y is -2. So I will fill those in. Okay, and then I'm going to take a look because I don't have any exponents. I don't really have any parentheses because all those are just multiplication. And I don't have division, so I think I'm going to go through and take care of all the multiplication first. So I'm going to kind of underline that for you. So I'm looking at this multiplication I want to take care of, and this I want to take care of. So first, 4 times 3 is 12. I'm just going to keep track of that in my head because I don't need to write every step. 4 times 3 is 12, times that -2 is a -24. Then I have that -5 to bring down. Now I have -8 times 3 is -24, times that -2 is a +48. If you want to show all those steps, you can, but you don't need to. Plus that 9 on the end. Now we're down to just adding and subtracting. So now at this point, we just go left to right. So -24 minus 5 is a -29. Bring down the rest. -29 and 48. And 9. You know what? I said that we didn't need to show every step. So if you would like to, we can take out this. I was going to do one more step, but if you want to do -9 plus 48, keep track of that, plus the 9, you would get the 28. Okay, that looks good. And this one you didn't try yet. So let's see, what does this one say? If k equals -2, would the equation 2k minus 3 equals 5k plus 3 be true or false? So to set this one up, let's go ahead and plug in that -2. So 2 times -2 minus 3 equals 5 times -2 plus 3. So we actually don't know right now if that equal sign is true. So when we don't know, we put a little question mark over it. Okay, so we don't know if that's true or not. And then let's go ahead and solve the left side, solve the right side. And if we get that we get the same for both the left and the right, that means it's true. If we end up with something weird like 2 equals 5, 2 equals 5 doesn't make sense. That would be false. Okay, so go ahead and hit pause. Come back when you're ready. All right, so 2 and -2, we get the -4 minus 3. Does that equal? I don't know yet. I'm just going to keep going down the left side so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. -4 minus 3 ends up being -7. Okay, now over to this side. 5, -2, I get a -10 plus 3. And -10 plus 3 really is -7. So since we got -7 equals -7, that is true. All right, go ahead and turn the page. Now this stuff is going to be some new looking stuff to you. Okay, so we have a home decorating company charges $200 for the consultation work, plus another $80 for every hour that they spend working at the home. Okay, so like they want to come out to your house, automatically $200 plus $80 for each hour. Okay, so now it says complete the table to help find an expression for the total cost of the company's services after 8 hours of working in a customer's home. Be sure to show your process for coming up with the total cost for each number of hours. Don't just show the answer. Okay, so let's start by doing a couple of these lines together. And I think we've talked before about how these tables look kind of silly, but then they help us generate that expression or later an equation. So over this first one, the 0 hours, we're just going to put in 200. Now for this number 1, it's the 200 to come out, right? Plus what? Plus the $80 for every hour. So we're going to do 80, and let's go ahead and put times 1. And then let's say what the total is, equals 280. For the next one, we have that $200 to come out, plus that $80 times those 2 hours, right? That equals 360. See if you can do the rest of this table. So 5, 10, and H. And then see if you can answer those 2 questions underneath. Okay, so go ahead and finish it off. Try to do 5, 10, and H. And try those bottom 2 if you can. Hit pause, come back when you're ready. All right, so for the 5, we have that 200 plus the $80 for 5 hours. And we get $600. For the 10, we have that initial $200 plus the $80 for those 10 hours equals $1,000. Okay, and then it's for H. So this is coming up with our expression. So every single time we started with that 200, right? So there's 200, that's a constant, plus every single time, every single time we have that plus, right? And then we would do that 80. So that's a constant. The variable is what we would do times the 80, right? Because it depended if it was 1 hour, 5 hours. So that is where our H goes. Okay, so that is our expression. So if you got that, go ahead and keep watching. If you did not get that, now go ahead and try to do those bottom 2 questions. Okay, so if you didn't get that, now that you have the expression, go ahead and try those bottom 2. If that is what you got and you moved on, let's go ahead and look. So we have 200 plus the 80, and now they're saying to plug in 20. And for that, we get $1,800. And then it says, what does the result mean in this situation? So what it means, that 20 hours of work with your consult, put W/ for with consult, costs $1,800. And what does H equals 0 represent? And what would that mean in this situation? So the H equals 0, that means 0 hours in the home, right? So just that initial consult, like maybe they just kind of do it over the phone, like a $200 consult fee. Okay, so I'm going to put no work in home. Just the consult. Or who knows, maybe they come out to your house for the $200 and every hour they spend might be 80. Okay, so the H equals 0 means that they haven't actually spent any time doing the work. Okay? All right, hopefully that's all right. Now, let's go and turn the page. I think we might be down to 1 page. Yeah, we are. This page, though, is confusing, okay? So we're going to take our time. So translate each of the following to an algebraic expression. Okay. So we have the sum of 3 times m and n. This one isn't too bad. Try it. Try the first two, but I don't want you to go beyond that, okay? Try the first two, hit pause, come back when you think you have the first two. Okay, so we have the sum, so that means plus, of 3 times m, that's where we're going to put the sum, right? And n. So the sum of 3 times m, so here's 3 times m, and, so that means the sum, n. So there's the first one. Next, we have the product, so that means multiply. The product of a, and, so this is where the product is going to go, okay? And 7 more than a. I lose a lot of students here because they don't group that more than a with the 7. They think that it's a times 7 and then more than a. But that and right here, this is the separator. Okay, so it was the separator back on this last one. It was 3m and n. So that's where we put the sum, right, was where the and went. So in this one where it says and, that's where the product goes. So we have a, and then product would just be multiply, 7 more than a. So I'm going to put 7 plus a. Within the parentheses, you could have a plus 7. That would be the same. Okay, so now let's do the next one together. The quotient. Okay, so the quotient, that means division. When 7 less than a number, so that's going to probably go in parentheses, right? 7 less than a number is, there's our separator word, divided by 3. So it's saying divided by, there's the 3. So we could have 7 less than a number. So 7 less than a number. So x minus 7, all of that, because our separator came after that, is divided by 3. Next one, the difference of m and n divided by the sum of m and n. Let's have you try these next 3, okay? So the 3 you can see on my page. Go ahead and hit pause and go ahead and give those 3 a try. Okay, so the difference of m and n, so difference means subtraction. So look at, there's a lot going on here, right? So we're going to have the difference of m and n divided by the sum of m and n. So 2 main ways to write this. The difference of m and n, we could have m minus n, divided by, you'd want those in parentheses, the sum of m plus n. That would work. Or another good one would be to write it as a fraction. Either way, I don't know why I keep writing I. Either way would work. They are the exact same thing. Okay, no preference from me on that one. Okay, so we have the difference of m and n, so subtraction divided by, it's either the divided by or the fraction bar, the sum, which means plus m and n. Next, we have the product of 5 less than a number and 5 more than that same number. So the product, so multiply, 5 less than a number and our separator, 5 more than that same number. So 5 less than a number, 5 less than that number. So x minus 5, the product, 5 more, so 5 more than that same number. So that same number was x. So we have x minus 5 times that x plus 5. Next, we have 20 divided by 5 times a number. So 20, and then divided by 5 times a number. So 20 divided by 5 times a number. Or, same thing as a fraction, 20 divided by 5 times a number. We don't need those parentheses around the 5x if it's in the bottom of the fraction, because we take care of the top separate from the bottom. In the other way, the first way I wrote it, we do need it because it would mean something different if we did the divided by before the multiplication. All right. Oh, there's only 3 more. So go ahead and try these. Try these 3, hit pause, come back when you're ready. Okay, so 3 years younger than 5 times Joey's age. So 3 years younger, so that's going to be less than, right? Than 5 times Joey's age. So 3 less than Joey's age. I'm going to put 5 times A for age. So 3 less than that would be 5A minus 3. Next, we have 6 feet less than twice the length. So 6 feet less, so that's going to be another subtraction. 6 feet less than twice the length. So that's 2 times the length. So I'm going to go with L for length. So 2L is twice the length. 6 less than that would be twice the length minus 6. Next, we have 2/5 of the sum, and of means multiply. So 2/5 multiply the sum means plus of P and Q. So 2/5 of multiply the sum is plus P and Q. All right, and that wraps it up. I hope you have an awesome day. Great job today.